This presentation is based on the article How Much Do Our Genes Restrict Free Will by Hannah Critchlow. We are human genetics students at the University of Pretoria. Therefore, this article is relevant to our field of study. The article chosen discusses how our genetic makeup, something we can't choose, can heavily influence the direction of our lives. Hannah Critchlow argues that genes not only determine our physical appearance but also predispose us to certain mental illnesses and behavioral patterns. She also explores how epigenetics or changes in gene expression caused by life experiences, especially trauma, can impact not only us but also our descendants. The article is credible for several reasons. Firstly, it's recent, having been published in 2020, and it's hosted on a reputable platform, The Conversation. The author, Hannah Critchlow, is a Science Outreach Fellow at Magdalen College, University of Cambridge, and is experienced in neuroscience and genetics. The article is well written, free from spelling and grammar issues, and supported by up-to-date scientific studies. Critchlow maintains an objective tone, representing factual content while including thoughtful insights without being biased. All of this makes the article a trustworthy source for examining how genetics may limit free will. One of Critchlow's main arguments is that our unique genetic code, a sequence of 3.2 billion DNA letters, builds a framework for our physical bodies and our brains. This code not only determines traits like height and eye color, but also how our brains are wired, influencing behavior, intelligence, and susceptibility to diseases. She explains that scientists can now monitor brain development in babies and see how the wiring of their brains aligns with their genetic makeup. These genetic patterns can predict the likelihood of developing mental health conditions like ADHD, autism, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and depression. Critchlow also emphasizes that nature and nurture are closely intertwined. She explains how life experiences, especially traumatic ones, can affect how genes are expressed. This is called epigenetic modification. These changes are like tags added to our DNA, which can switch genes on or off without changing the DNA itself. What's especially important is that these changes can be passed on to our children. She gives an example from a 2014 study where mice were taught to feel the smell of cherries, paired with a mild electric shock. Surprisingly, their grandchildren also reacted fearfully to the cherry smell, even though they had never experienced the shock. This showed that the trauma had changed the sperm DNA of the grandfather, passing on the fear response genetically.
Critchlow investigates another study to further support her claim that traumatic events can cause epigenetic changes in descendants. She found that the sons of the U.S. Civil War prisoners had an 11% higher death rate by their mid-40s. She also found that the survivors of the Holocaust and their descendants carried a genetic code that was linked to their cortisol levels, and that their cortisol level was high, which makes them easily susceptible to anxiety disorders. One claim was that the physical attributes caused by our genetic code could be the cause for discrimination, a person's race, gender, and ethnicity. We looked further and came across the persecution of the Jewish people in Nazi Germany as a key example. The Jewish people were defined by their race and physical appearance. They were seen as a threat as they did not have similar physical appearances as everybody else, which was a tall, athletic, blonde hair, and blue eyes. And and because of this they were persecuted. They were described in an anti Semitic children's book to have a nose shaped like a six as it was bent. We can see that the freedom of the Jews were taken away from them because of their genetic phenotype, which supports the claim that a person's genetics can affect the way they are regarded. Another claim was mentioned Another claim that was mentioned is that epigenetics can cause mental illnesses. Such can significantly alter the gene expression and incorporate different mechanisms, such as histone modification, DNA methylation, and non-coding RNAs. Such control the Such are responsible for signaling, stress response, and brain development. This shows the epigenetic changes can cause the infunctionality of a gene and cause brain dysfunction. It was highlighted that epigenetic changes are caused by trauma, stress, infection, drug exposure, and struggles from early in life. This can develop into mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. In conclusion, it was without a doubt that our genetics does affect and restrict our free will by deciding our physical appearance, any mental illnesses, and how we are treated by society. Such can change the course of a person's life and that of their future generation. This topic is relevant to our field as it gives more insight into a person's characteristics and how they live. Thank you for listening.